1 million jobs. You are coming back with the message of job creation, skills, development, like you have said. What is unique about this policy, and do you think that this is covering enough the masses?
There's a disconnect, in respect of recruitment and placement. And so we're going to cure that first by rejigging the national, what we call the labor office.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to turn it into a national employment center. And we're going to digitize it, put it online. We're going to get young people who have come out of school, who have got some technical skills, technical university and all that, to go online and put their particulars and their qualifications and everything on the website of the National Employment Center. Now we're going to encourage employers, if they're looking for a certain set of skills, to go on that website and then pick eligible people from there, either interview them, test them, and if they meet their standards, to employ them. And we'll give them an incentive for doing so. Some tax incentive, tax rebate, depending on the number of people you employ from that website. So it will create a contact between young people and employers directly. Some of them might need a little retraining, on the job to fit into a particular role. They're free to do so, and then eventually employ them. So that will allow them. Young people, one of the things that they have a problem is when they come out of school, there is virtually no connector between them and employers. And so you see they take applications and CVs and they walk from business to business and be dropping their CVs in those places. That will, take that away. Then the next one is the big push. I've talked about it. We want to invest about $10 billion dollars over 5 years into the economy. It will go into various sectors. And one of the sectors it will go into is providing social and economic infrastructure. That will kickstart the construction sector again, because we've said that the companies that will participate in the big push will be principally Ghanaian companies. And so these Ghanaian companies would employ from the Ghanaian labor market. And because it's going to be Ghanaian companies, they'll pay taxes here. They will invest whatever profits they have back into their business here. And so that will expand employment. Then we have the stimulus package for small and medium enterprises. With these ones, the small enterprises, we're exempting them from payment of income tax. And so it will allow them to replow their profits back into their businesses and be able to expand their businesses. We calculate that it will cost about government about 1.4 billion a year. And so just imagine 1.4 billion a year going back into the businesses. That should allow them to expand and be able to grow their businesses. Apart from that, we have a youth entrepreneurship program that we're going to implement. It's a bit like the YES program. The other time I said, one of my regrets was that we didn't expand the YES program quicker than we did. We committed 10 million seed money to it, but I wanted to see how it worked before we went to the next level. And it worked quite well. A lot of the people who were chosen, were given capital in the form not only of money, but sometimes equipment. There's one of the young guys who was doing metal fabrication, and there were 2 pieces of equipment that he didn't have. And so the Youth Enterprise Support Initiative gave him those pieces of equipment, and it made his work easier. As a result of that money that was invested, he employed 2 people to join him. He had been working with his brother, but he had to take 2 more employees, because then it made him able to, expand his business. There was a lady, a young girl who finished University of Science and Tech, and we gave her capital, and we purchased aquaculture cages for her. Yeah, and she put it on the Akosombo waters. Yeah. And she employed 20 people, in fish farming. And the last I checked, she was doing very well. So our young people have a lot of entrepreneurial spirit. So just that capital is a problem. And capital at an affordable rate. If you go to the banks or the microcredit institutions, they'll give you the money at 6% interest per month. And that is not money you can use for any proper business. It's only importers and things who need to clear things quickly at the port and come and sell. So that works for commerce, but it doesn't work for investments. Okay. You know, so that's one side. But there's also the public sector. We've done a human resource gap analysis of the public sector. And there are gaps in terms of human resource in many of the sectors. And so our intention is to fill those gaps. We estimate that we should be able to employ at least 50,000 young people a year.
So whilst